I don't know how much time I have. I barged past security. They're probably gonna grab me any second now.
You're supposed to be, that was Dan, he was trying to give you a high five.
How am I supposed to know that? I live in a cave.
Yeah, fair enough.
Google, surprisingly, actually had some new things to say at their Pixel hardware event yesterday. After months slowly leaking info about their $599 Pixel 7, $899 Pixel 7 Pro, and $349 Pixel Watch, unfortunately, these new things included an attempt to throw shade at Apple for features that Pixel phones had before the iPhone, like an always-on display and crash detection. Google then went on to announce Face Unlock for what feels like the 5th time, cinematic blur mode, just like Apple's, and fancy computational zoomed-in photos, just like Apple's.
Oh.
There truly is nothing new under the silicon.
I came up with that myself.
Nice job.
That's a new one.
It's good. But Pixel 7s do actually have some new stuff. Face Unblur has been upgraded to Photo Unblur to unblur, well, the whole photo. And a really cool feature called Guided Frame provides audible directions to help sight-impaired people take selfies, because we shouldn't gatekeep narcissism. We all need to have it.
Yeah.
Mostly me.
That's so nice. Mostly you.
Next up, we finally got to know the Pixel Watch, powered by the Samsung Exynos 9110 system on a chip, instead of some new watch-specific variant of the Tensor G2 in the Pixel 7s. It runs Wear OS 3.5, if that means anything to you at all, and has an ECG app, blood oxygen sensor, is waterproof up to 50 meters, water resistant up to 50 meters, and it's, get it right! And its battery will last up to 24 hours if you can stand to look at its huge bezel for that long.
Gross.
It's disgusting.
God, I'm puking right now. Stop.
We're kind of kidding. As Fandroids points it out, it doesn't look that bad next to other modern smartwatches. Stop complaining. No complaining allowed. Lastly, Google gave another peek at its Pixel tablet, which will launch next year as basically what looks like a big Nest Hub with a detachable display. It will have a Tensor G2 processor though, and without knowing anything about how that chip performs, I can definitely say it's gonna be there.
That's for sure.
It's gonna be in that device.
It'll have a chip.
Yeah.
At least.
At least one. In other Google news, the tech giant announced a video-focused version for their Imagen AI-powered text-to-image generator, sensibly named Imagen Video.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not bad. The model can generate 5-second-long videos based on text describing anything from a panda taking a selfie, to a bear washing dishes, to a panda driving a car. It only does pandas.
Bears, yeah.
It doesn't do anything other than...
They love bears.
That's still fairly helpful. Imagen Video arrives only a week after Meta's own video generator, which they called Make a Video. Also a fairly sensible name.
sensible.
It's not too bad. In an even more sensible move, and just 6 months after OpenAI's DALL-E 2 was announced, AI-generated content is moving fast. In fact, another text-to-video generator, Phenaki, was just announced, along with the Dream Fusion text-to-3D model generator. The field is moving so fast that the number of papers about AI have doubled every 24 months on Arxiv.
That thing.
Yeah. In fact, this entire video has been AI generated. So if you have any complaints, there is no one person to blame.
Yeah.
I am not real.
Neither am I.
I'm not a person. And after the chip supply shortage ravaged the world for almost 2 years, chipmakers ramped up production to meet high demand. Too bad for them, as it led to a lot of supply, which was only helped by the cratering of interest in mining cryptocurrency. And wouldn't you know it, demand has dropped with it. And now chipmakers like AMD, Samsung, Micron, and Kioxia have all reported drops in earnings as they miss their financial projections. The industry is also facing renewed restrictions from the US government on exporting to China, which will hurt revenue even more. And while it's hard to feel empathy for the wealthy people running these very, very wealthy companies, it's also likely that how they react to these conditions could mean that we're in for another supply shortage and higher prices along with it. Not to mention inflation. What is this? Economy linked? Are you starting a new channel?
Not in this economy. Now it's time for Quick Bits, brought to you by Magic Spoon, maker of cereal that has the audacity to be healthy for you while tasting like it's not. This has to be a trick. Well, it's not. It's Magic Spoon. These cereals have 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 to 5 net grams of carbs per serving, and come in best-selling flavors like cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter. Build your own variety box and add in their new cereal bars with 1 gram of sugar, 4 net grams of carbs, and only 130 calories each. Plus, they now ship to Canada and the UK, and if you don't end up liking it, they'll refund your money, no questions asked? Frankly, the disrespect towards garbage food is stunning. Eat good food. Click the link below to get some Magic Spoon cereal today and use code TECHLINK to get $5 off your custom variety box.
Quick Bits is an abstract idea and not a concrete object, so it's immune to supply shortages. Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, has suspended transactions after a major cyber attack. While CEO Changpeng Zhao initially said $100 to $110 million in funds were taken, it turned out that the hackers actually have gotten away with as much as $570 million of crypto. The incident is only the latest of many crypto exchange hacks, leading some to question whether holding all this decentralized currency in a centralized system makes that much sense. But on the plus side, the people behind Binance did say on their blog that they will apologize and that they own this. Thank you. Personally, my faith is restored. Noctua has delivered an answer to everyone asking about whether thermal paste will get squeezed into the little gaps on the Ryzen 7000 processors. No, it won't, if you buy Noctua's NA TPG1 thermal paste guard for AMD's AM5 socket. They have always had a way with words. I have not. Maybe AMD had faith that PC builders wouldn't use too much thermal paste, so it would never get into any of those little nooks and crannies. But if there are any others out there like me, sometimes you just gotta squeeze out a little extra because seeing it come out of the tube is oddly soothing. And maybe it's a little exciting. Robot making companies Boston Dynamics, Agility, Anybotics, and others have signed an open letter pledging to never add weapons to their robotics because doing so raises new risks of harm and serious ethical issues. That sounds so soft. It's like they haven't even seen one Terminator. While it's nice, let's not forget that other, more bad robotics companies like Ghost Robotics have already put guns on their robots. We lost! But maybe when the pacifist and non-pacifist robots go to war, the gun-toting ones will feel intense guilt as they shred spots by the dozen. A moral victory! Overwatch 2's bad launch week continues as even after Blizzard rolled out a patch for some of the game's bugs, the game's subreddit is still packed with posts from players complaining about ridiculously long wait times for not just getting into a match, but even logging into the game at all. Others are asking, rightly, whether Overwatch 2 is actually a new game at all, or simply the same one, but without loot boxes this time. Yeah, it was gambling, but so is hitting the matchmaking button without any idea of whether or not it's gonna work.
Come on, Daddy's feeling lucky.
I wanna play some video games! And wouldn't you know it, Google took our last story too, but it's Google Japan, so it's fine. They made a keyboard called the Gboard stick version that's 160 centimeters long because it consists of every keyboard key placed into a single row. Why did they do this? Is it Japanese April Fool's Day, or are the people at Google Japan really cool and should just be my friends? Maybe a question for another time. Great job, Japan! And great job to you for watching. Come back on Monday for more tech news. I'll be watching right along with you from my cave that I have to go back to.